Hi everyone, my name is Kid Hines and I stream all the time on twitch.tv/KidHinesTV. The reason I went ahead and plugged my Twitch at the beginning of this video is because while streaming and over the last couple of years that I have been streaming, I have been credited as a speedy boy. That's kind of the name I have for myself on my channel. Reason being is because I can move pretty fast in Titanfall 2. Now, obviously, there have been a bunch of movement videos and some that are going to be produced way better than this one, but this one's just going to be a live commentary, and I'm going to be talking about some of the things that I do, the effects that I have, how you can go faster in Titanfall 2, and the different ways to practice. This guide is going to be kind of a wide range of different things, from beginner, intermediate, advanced techniques, and just a couple of little things you can and things you should not do while practicing movement. First thing we're going to go over is just the basics, a refresher course. For some of you, this is going to be old information. For some of you looking to train your movement for the very first time, this is going to be brand new, so I wanted to revisit some of these topics. And those are the three basic tenets of Titanfall 2 movement. And those are slide hopping, air strafing, and wall jumping and or wall kicking. First thing we're going to talk about is slide hopping, because that is the most basic movement technique in Titanfall 2, and it is also one of the most fundamental. So all slide hopping is just jumping, sliding, and jumping again. We're going to demonstrate that right now. Watch my controller if that helps you out. I do have this controller cam here on the left side of my screen. So all we do is we jump, slide, and jump as soon as we hit the ground. As soon as you hit the ground, you jump again. You're going to know you proc the slide in midair when your gun dips a little bit, like this, and then you jump immediately after touching the ground. Repeat this until it's a fluid motion, like I'm showing you here. It may look like this right at the start. You may not get the timing down right away, and that's completely fine. Even I looked like this at one point. We all start somewhere. Basically, just go into a private match or in the gauntlet and practice this in repetition until it looks like one fluid motion. The reason my gun may pop up from time to time is because I don't use hold to crouch, I use toggle. I like having an extra step in there. It kind of keeps me on my toes, keeps my fingers warm, and occasionally I do mess up because of it, but in general it kind of keeps me alert. The next thing we're going to talk about is air strafing. This is the bread and butter of gaining and maintaining your speed. While slide hopping is just for maintaining your speed, combine slide hopping with air strafing and you're going to be gaining speed. The way we do that, at least on controller, is by moving our left stick laterally, left and right. So you see on the screen my left stick looks like this, and as we go throughout the video, please try and pay attention to that controller cam because I'm going to be air strafing left and right almost constantly. I'd say about 95% of the time. We'll explain the 5% that's missing here in a little bit. What this is going to look like: we're just going to go left and right with our left stick, and with our right stick we're going to slowly guide our camera very gradually in the direction that we want to go. So for example, up here I'm going to want to make a left turn. So right now I'm just kind of going straight, and then as I turn left, 100% left on that D-pad, 100% left on that left analog stick, and slightly to the left with my camera. While your left stick has to be dramatic, almost 100% if you can manage it, your right stick is going to be moving slightly in the direction that you want to turn, probably about a 5 to 10% input, whereas your left stick is going to be a 100% input in the direction that you want to go. Now, this technique called air strafing is not just for slide hopping, it's for a lot of different things as well. Anytime you're in the air, you're going to want to be air strafing and guiding your camera here a little bit to the left or to the right, depending on the direction you want to go. And the reason for that being that Titanfall 2 runs on a very unique source engine where air strafing and slightly guiding your camera in the same direction over a period of time actually gains momentum. This is something that not a lot of people are used to, especially in the first-person shooter arena, because what other games have told us is holding forward or holding W is how you go forward. While that is still true in Titanfall 2, it doesn't help you in any way. What does help you is actually air strafing, guiding your camera, getting that perfect ratio of left stick to right stick input, and that is what's going to help you gain speed. The best way to practice this is to first find a sharp corner and just make that turn over and over. In this case, it's left. I'm just going to make this turn as often as I can until I get it down. and then you go to a corner that is making you bank to the right, and you get that right side down, and then you can practice something really fun called skiing. And skiing is the thing you're going to be using all the time while you're slide hopping in Titanfall 2. Skiing is what I'm doing right now, where I'm just staying on the ground, I'm not touching any walls, and I'm going left to right and left to right. If I have a big open surface like back here, let me get over here really quickly and use stim just to save some time. I'm going to start at 0 speed, and I'm going to gain speed, and I'm going to go from point A to point B, except there's a little bit of a catch. There's actually going to be point B, C, D, E, F, all the way through Z up to that point, and I'm going to do it by skiing. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go left first, and then right, and then left, and then right. I don't have a speed counter up here, so I can't really prove to you that I am going faster, but I promise as I'm doing that skiing motion, I am gaining speed all the way to the end of the wall, and especially if you just ski all throughout the map. Anytime I'm touching the ground in Titanfall 2, I am slide hopping and skiing as often as possible if I'm not hitting any walls. This is one way to gain speed, but it's pretty minor. As long as you're doing it for a long period of time, you're going to be gaining decent amounts of speed, and it's a great way to go throughout the map, look flashy, do whatever for your stream if that's what you're looking for as well. The best way, in my opinion, is wall hopping. This is the best way you can gain speed. First of all, let's say this, that running on a wall is intrinsically faster than sprinting. If I'm just sprinting like this, you can see a noticeable difference as soon as I hop on the wall that obviously I'm going much faster. I'm actually going about 30% faster than when I'm sprinting. If I was in the gauntlet, I could show you the speed timer, but I'll let you do that for yourself if you're really interested in the numbers. Now something we can do on top of just wall running is wall kicking. A perfect wall kick is defined as jumping onto a wall and jumping off of it as soon as possible with the least amount of friction possible. The reason we want to do this is because the sooner you kick off of a wall, the more speed you're going to get when you jump off of the wall. Like I said earlier, running on the wall is faster than sprinting, but if you jump off that wall, you get another burst of speed. That is called kicking off the wall. If you kick off the wall faster, or with little time spent on the wall at all, you're going to get big bursts of speed. You chain this together multiple times, like on this wall here, which is what I'm about to do, you're going to get ridiculous amounts of speed. Let me come over here and demonstrate this. I'm going to get on here, I'm going to kick off of here, I'm going to do some slide hops really quickly, kick, 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 and now I'm going super fast. I'm going much faster than your basic stim speed running on the ground, and that's just from kicking off a wall 3 times with perfect timing. I can't really teach you how to train this. There's a couple of different techniques that I'm going to go into here in just a second. The main one is just your reaction time. Sometimes this comes down to the input lag that you have on your display device. Mine is a monitor with a high refresh rate, so the timing on these walls is fairly easy for me to get down, but it's really based on your reaction time, how much you're paying attention while you're moving throughout the map, and you just want to jump as soon as you get off the wall. So there are a couple of different, I guess, definitions to wall kicking, at least in my vocabulary, and those are parallel and horizontal wall kicks. Each of these serves a different purpose, and I use them both pretty often when I play. The first one is going to be parallel wall kicking. This is my most used wall kick. Parallel wall kicking aims to gain as much speed out of a wall kick as physically possible in this game. The way I do it is I line myself up with the direction of the wall as shallow as possible. I want to hit that wall with the most shallow angle that I can in order to create the least amount of friction when I jump off of it. Unfortunately, I made a little bit of a mistake there, but that's okay, that happens. To give you an example of what I'm talking about, if I'm coming at this wall at a 45-degree angle, in this case we're in the air, but I'm on the ground just to show it to you in slow-mo because I can't really do that. What I'm going to be doing is coming at this wall from a 45-degree angle from this direction, and because this wall is on my right, I'm going to have to strafe out as I approach it to the left until I'm lined up with the wall like this. See, now I'm parallel with the direction of the wall. The wall is running this way, so for me to line up parallel with it, it's going to be like this. And so when I kick off of it, there's not going to be a whole lot of friction. There's not going to be a whole lot of resistance. It's going to be easier for me to kick off that wall and maintain the momentum I'm bringing in to the wall. So I'm just going to do a couple of routes really quickly that I normally do on this map. Right here is going to be our first wall kick. We're going to kick again right here. We're going to skip over the rails, and then we're going to kick again on another wall. So just pay attention every time. Watch my joysticks and watch me strafe outward opposite of where the wall is according to me. And then I'm going to kick off of it and gain a lot of speed. Jump on the zip line here. I'm going to strafe out a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left this time. We're going to skip over the rails now. 1, 2. Going to go towards this and then strafe out to the right. Kick, kick, out to the right, kick, out to the right, kick. And we're maintaining that same exact momentum and even gaining some that we got from that zip line in the first original movement. All right. Now I did make a little mistake there, but that's okay. I kind of proved my point here. That is the point of parallel wall jumping, or at least what I call it. Once again, I made these things up. I don't know if there are official terms for these, but I'm just trying to put them in terms of, you know, how I learned them, how I'm experiencing them. So that's the parallel wall kick. You want to use air strafing, and remember, when we air strafe, we go 100% left or 100% right. So if the wall is on our right and we have to make that angle a lot more shallow because we're coming from here, we're going to air strafe 100% left. Sorry, I didn't move my camera really. We're going to air strafe 100% left until we are lined up with this wall. Now these are 45-degree angle walls. These are the bread and butter of wall kicking. We want to get these 45-degree angle walls because they give us a lot of opportunity in a small amount of time to gain some speed. But every time, all these walls are on my right, okay? So I'm going to strafe out to the left when I hit... Ooh, there's a little texture there that I bumped onto. That's okay. I'm going to strafe out to the left as I go into these walls. A little bit out to the left, a little bit out to the left, so that I can line myself up as parallel to the wall as possible to create the least amount of friction possible. Alright, now we're going to get into the second method of wall kicking. This one is called diagonal wall kicking. The purpose of diagonal wall kicking is to reduce the amount of speed that you are likely going to lose because you're coming into a wall very aggressively. You're coming into a wall at a very aggressive angle. You're going to smack into that wall and you are inevitably going to lose some speed. We are not here to prevent the loss of speed as a whole. We are here to reduce the amount of speed lost. If you're coming at a wall at this sharp angle and you can't strafe out of it because you're going so fast, this is a 45-degree angle. This is something that happens to me a lot because I stim and grav boost. I have a lot of speed and I can't strafe out of it because it's too aggressive of a turn. So I smack into the wall like that and I jump out of it. Now, even for a player as fast as myself, I'm going to lose speed there. The way I kind of dampen the effect of the loss of speed is by doing this diagonal wall kick, and that is simply... The best way to describe it really is to mirror the angle that I came into the wall, jump out of that wall, and strafe the opposite direction of the wall. So this wall is on my right coming in, so when I kick off of it, I'm going to be strafing out to my left, and I'm going to be matching it at about a 45-degree angle. So I'm facing here. I should come out somewhere right around there, because that's another 45-degree angle out from the wall. I think that's a little bit less than 45 degrees, but we don't care about that. So let me get some speed and demonstrate what this looks like. I'm gonna come over here. You know what? Let's go ahead and use stim just for ridiculous speed. 45-degree angle, mirror that 45-degree angle, and come out to the left. Now you can see I'm still going fast, but I'm 100% moving slower than I was before. Now you're gonna maintain some of that speed if you hit this perfectly. Remember, this is still a wall kick, so you want to kick off the wall as fast as possible. However, you are going to lose speed. Just know that that 45-degree angle wall has to be, that 45-degree angle that you are holding has to be matched on the other side and strafing out the opposite direction that the wall was relative to you. I know that's a lot of words. I know I'm talking kind of fast. I'm trying to make sure this video isn't too long. Live commentaries are kind of my thing, so I'm not really going to go back and edit this whole thing and cut out a bunch of different stuff. So there you have it. We have slide hopping, air strafing, wall kicking, the kind of different ways to do wall kicking. Best places to practice these are maps with a lot of movement opportunities, Dry Dock, Eden, Glitch, even Stacks or any of the live fire maps. They have a lot of cool angles that you can use. There are other maps, but it's completely up to you, and the best one to practice in my opinion, is the Gauntlet. For the sake of kind of a free-flowing video, I decided to choose a private match because I've already practiced the Gauntlet quite a bit, and I think you can get a lot more done if you have a wider arsenal of movement mechanics that you can actually pull off if you are in a private match. Now we're going to talk about some do's and don'ts while you are practicing the movement mechanics in this game. First of all, I should have started the video with this, but since we're getting into the do's and don'ts topics, I would say if you're using a controller, you're going to want to bind your jump and slide to paddles or triggers on the back side of your controller if you have those. Unfortunately, I do not have paddles. I don't have an Elite or Scuff controller. I don't have anything to actually rebind any of my buttons to. So what I do is I use a control scheme offered in this game. It's called the Evolved Control Scheme. It switches your jump to LB, your crouch to right stick, and your melee to B. The reason this is helpful is because you can both crouch and move your camera with your right thumb, and you never have to take your fingers off the analog sticks. This is incredibly important because you need to be air strafing the whole time, and in order to make sure that your air strafes are as effective as possible, you need to be moving your camera in tandem with it and get that perfect ratio down. If you stop moving your camera while you're air strafing, you're just going to go flying off in one direction and like this, and you can't actually control your momentum as well as if you were moving your camera as well. So that's one of the first do's. Let's go into some don'ts really quickly. I said earlier that I am air strafing about 95% of the time. The first don't we're going to talk about is that 5% that's missing. The reason there is a 5% missing is because there is a time for you not to be using, or excuse me, there is a time for you to avoid air strafing, and that is pretty much only while you are double jumping. If you are air strafing and you double jump, your character is going to use that double jump and push your momentum in the direction that you're air strafing. For example, if I am holding left on my left analog stick and I double jump, my character is going to go flying left, like this. See how I was going forward and then I was holding left and I double jumped while holding left, and I kind of jutted off to the side a little bit and lost a little bit of my speed? That's what happens when you double jump while you're air strafing. So you notice every time I double jump, my stick's going to go neutral for about half a second. And actually not neutral, I'm just going to hold forward. Because forward is the direction I'm going. Forward is always the direction my momentum is going. So if I hold forward while I double jump, I'm not actually going to go in any other direction than wherever I'm facing. I know I'm saying a lot and I'm saying it fast, but I promise it makes sense. Don't double jump while you're holding either left or right. You either let your stick go neutral, take your thumb off of the stick, or hold forward. Either one works. It doesn't really matter. Speaking of double jumping, the next don't is don't double jump while your character has already begun falling. Once your character has begun losing altitude, if you double jump during that period before you hit the ground, you're not going to lose a whole lot of momentum, but you are going to lose some. Now, it's a very, very small amount, but Titanfall's movement does rely on subtlety. A lot of different stacking of small increases of movement is what's going to make you go really, really fast. Same thing with mistakes. If you make a lot of tiny, tiny mistakes in your movement, eventually you're just going to slow down. Eventually you're just going to be walking around like everybody else, not moving fast. So to avoid this, we just don't double jump while we're falling down. I only double jump while, I try to double jump while my character has momentum when I'm gaining altitude or when I'm completely neutral in my altitude. Once I've just begun falling and I'm no longer rising anymore, that's typically when I double jump. That gets me the most distance while maintaining the same amount of speed. If you need to make a really long jump, I totally understand. If you need to just clear that gap, I understand. Not every single situation gives the opportunity to maintain every ounce of the speed that you have gained. Just like that, what I did there, I had to make it around that corner and I needed a double jump, so I went ahead and waited until I was falling down. I can't think of too many others on hand right now. This is a live commentary. I don't have any script. I just kind of wanted to talk free form about all this stuff because that's what I do on my channel on Twitch. I hope you guys can come check that out. This isn't quite the end of the video. I'm going to talk about a couple of other things such as stim, grapple, and GravStar. We're going to cover those really quickly because they're not necessarily essential to the movement system of this game. They are simply supplements to the movement system in this game. First thing we're going to talk about is stim. Stim doesn't change any of the mechanics in this game. It just makes you go super fast. Combine these with wall hopping, slide hopping, wall kicks, and air strafing, and you're going to gain ridiculous amounts of speed. And I'll give you an example of stimming really quickly. Let me get over here. We're going to do a fun little route I do at the beginning of some of these games. I'm going to come up here. Don't worry about wall kicking. I stim. Then I'm going to wall kick off this. I'm going to slide hop over, and now we're in the enemy spawn just like that. If you combine stimming, wall hopping, and slide hopping, you're going to get a lot of speed. And the thing is about this is stim and grapple are just extensions of your movement. They are just ways to gain a lot of speed very quickly. They don't change any of the mechanics. Grappling does have a couple of different mechanics, such as air strafing while you are grappling to the point. I am not going to make a grapple guide. I am not a grapple main. There are plenty of those out there. Frothy Omen, It's Ethereal, Iniquity, they all have great grapple guides on YouTube. I suggest go checking those out if you are a grapple main and you want to learn how to apply these mechanics to grappling. While I can do it, it's just not the focus of the video. Next thing we're going to talk about is grav boosting. I do this on my channel a lot. I am a grav main. I only use the grav star, and this is how we do it. There are two different cues to the grav star for you to pay attention to. There is audio and visual. I typically go with audio because my headset is a fairly decent headset, and I get a lot of information just out of the audio that I'm hearing. So we're just going to watch the grav boost go first. It's going to swell up like that, have a sound animation of it building, and then it's going to explode. What we want to do is as soon as it swells up, as soon as we see it rise or hear it rise, it's going to start that animation. About a second after it actually rises up and reaches the crest of its height, then we are going to slide towards it, jump at the actual gravity star. Once we've hit the gravity star, the center, we're going to jump. And then as it explodes, we're going to double jump. Some people, you don't have to double jump, but I like double jumping. It just gives me a sense of it being more effective. So we're going to show you what that looks like right now. About a second later, slide through, double jump as soon as it hits, and boom, we're going faster than stim speed right now. This is about as fast as a tactical can make you go. Or stim ejecting, that works as well. So that's what it looks like. Practicing it is very easy. As soon as it hits the top, either you're going visual or audio cues. As soon as the gravity star hits the actual apex of its height, you wait about a second, slide through, jump, double jump. Oh, I did it a little bit early that time. See, that's why we practice. Come into a private match, do that for about 30 to 40 minutes, depending on how fast you pick up skills. I know I did this for about 20 to 30 minutes, and I was just as good at it as I am right now, years later. This is a very simple and useful skill to learn. I suggest using it if you're not relying on frags or anything else. If you think you have good enough gun skill not to run an ordnance that's going to help you out a whole lot in battle, then I suggest trying out the gravity boost, especially since it's a double movement utility. I now have gravity boost and stim anytime I need to get across the map. If I don't have stim, I'll probably grav boost across the map. If I don't have my grav boost ready, I'll probably stim across the map. Anyway guys, I know this video is already pretty long, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it short here. There's plenty more things about the movement system that I can talk about. A lot of really in-depth things that don't really fit into a YouTube video. Maybe I'll make another one on super in-depth, super advanced movement mechanics. But if you want to see some of those, I do stream live almost every single day on twitch.tv/KidHeinzTV. I hope to see you there, and this was my first YouTube video that I have posted in a while, so I'd appreciate some love on it. Subscribe to the channel if you like the content. I do have a couple of other videos of just raw gameplay that you guys can watch. Hope you enjoy that as well, and have a wonderful rest of your day, alright? Peace.